Hey guys, we've got the kayaks out, we're getting them rigged out, ready to go. So I'm gonna walk you through how we're mounting our unit to the kayak, all the way from the transducer to how we secure the battery without drilling any holes in the kayak. So the nice thing about the Topwater series of kayaks is the fact that they all come equipped with this universal transducer mount. Makes things super easy. All you need is a drill or a screwdriver, your transducer, and a couple mounting bolts. All you do is you come in, pop the transducer mount off with 2 screws, and you have this little plastic bracket here. So once you have your universal plate off, you take your transducer and you match up what mounting holes go with your transducer. So that's really what makes it universal, because there's multiple holes inside of this plate that will fit most transducers. So it's not requiring you to go back and drill other holes to fit your specific transducer mount. Take my 2 screws and I'm coming in from the front. So I'm gonna hold that on there like that while I put the nuts on the back. So I have that finger tightened on there, just like that. So I'm gonna take my ratchet, secure that bolt on the back, or that little nut, coming from the front, tighten those screws down. So I have this transducer securely fastened to that mounting plate, and that's what's nice, because it's super simple, just 2 screws, that's all I needed. And then I can just take this plate and put it back right where it came from, and that's all you have to do to mount your transducer. Line up these 2 mounting holes with the pre-tap fasteners, tighten them down a little bit, come back with the drill, tighten that up, tighten that up. Now your transducer's not going anywhere, securely fastened, no drill holes in the kayak. And now what you're going to want to do is take this transducer cord, and these kayaks have a conveniently placed scupper hole right where your transducer lines up with. So I'm going to take the end of this cable and run it back through that, feed all of it all the way through. So I've got my transducer mounted securely, cables run through. Now I'm going to flip the kayak over, figure out where I want to place my unit, and so I can adjust cable length as needed. So one thing I like to do when I'm going through figuring out where I want my unit at, I kind of know the general distance on this track, but I like to be able to know how the cables are going to run around the pedal system. So I like to put that in. So I'm going to take that just goes in easily, just right there, lock that sucker in there, and now I can see how the cables are going to run around the pedal system. We've chosen to use a ram bracket on our head unit itself, so these are pretty nifty. They go right in these pre-installed tracks that come with the kayak. Based on my experience, I know I like to have it between these front 2 screws. So then I just push those buttons down, tighten that in there like that, and that's secure. So now I can put my head unit on there. Doesn't have to be exactly where you want to fish with it. I like to kind of tilt it down so I have access to the back ports on this unit so I can plug everything in. So I'm going to take my power cable, get it plugged in here, and run that towards the back hatch where I'm going to mount my battery system. So there's a lot of different battery systems out there on the market. We've chosen this little battery pack here. Has a little hole for your power cable and everything. This particular pack is designed to permanently mount inside your hatch, and so what we actually like to do is cut these straps off, put a strip of Velcro here and on the inside of your front hatch, so that when you stick it in there, it doesn't slide around and move around. Plus, then it becomes a portable system. So we have multiple kayaks where we're switching back and forth between, so having this little battery pack be portable is pretty crucial. So before we go any further, I'm just going to take these 4 straps and snip them off with the scissors. So I've got the straps snipped off of this, trimmed up, and I'm going to take real wide industrial strength Velcro here. I'm just going to measure it out on the little battery pack. Cut that, and this is just an adhesive Velcro. Just take that, stick it and secure it. You want to make sure you secure it really well to the bottom of there. Wrap that up, So now that's secure there. And then for the soft part, the part that's going on the inside of the hatch, I'm just gonna take and cut about the same length. So I'm actually gonna take 2 pieces the same length as that, so I can have 2 mounting locations for this bag inside the hatch. Depending on what side, you know, you want to end up putting your unit on, because you might go through this process and then decide you want to put your unit on the other side. So what can be nice to do is mount your battery on the opposite side of your unit, just so you have a little bit more of a balanced kayak that way. So now I'm going to take that, expose the sticky side, go in, place that the long way, right there, mash that in, make sure that's good and secure, take, and do that on the opposite side as well, like that. Roughly the same spot on the opposite side. So now I have 2 spots where I can mount this battery bag on. So one thing that's nice about this bag is it has an access port for your power cable. So before I put the battery inside the bag, I'm going to take the power cable, run it through there, hook up the terminals to the battery. I'm going to put the battery in so that the terminals are on the far side of the bag, so it keeps those cables in a straight line. Zip that up. So now I can take that whole package, take it, place it right where I want it, feed my extra cable in there, close up the hatch. Now that battery is not sliding around inside while I'm fishing. So now I have my battery secure inside this hatch. I have my cables run from the unit to the battery. I have power to my unit. So now I want to deal with the excess transducer cable. So what I want to do is I want to take the unit and I want to figure out the longest cable I will ever need, depending on where I want to mount it. You know I like to have it right here, so you could go ahead and just keep the cable length that short, but I like adjustability. You know, we have multiple people fishing out of these kayaks, so the next guy that hops in might not want this unit right here. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to move this quick release all the way as far as it can go forward. So that is, at that point, that is the longest that cable will ever have to be. So now that I know this is the longest this cable will ever have to be, I'm going to grab the end of that cable and start coiling the excess transducer cable. So then I'm going to take that, close that up, and then the last thing, what I like to do just to kind of keep things neat and tidy, is I'm going to take the 2 cables, the power cable and the transducer cable coming out of the back, and I'm going to throw a couple zip ties on those. Trim the tag ends. So then I'm good there. Cables are tucked away inside this hatch. Battery's not going anywhere. Neat and tidy all the way back to the unit. I got the transducer mounted, coming back up. Cables are all tucked away inside the hatch. Battery's secured, not sliding around. Got enough length of cable coming all the way back to the unit. No holes are drilled in the kayak. We're secure, ready to go. The unit can be taken on and off at any time, and we're ready to go fishing.